Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope you all will be fine. I'm back with another video on the passive advance. I hope you all have seen my previous videos on active passive in which we discussed the basic structures of passive. However, in today's video, we are going to discuss some difficult or you can say advanced type of passive structures, right? Okay, so firstly, we are going to discuss that how when intransitive verbs are used with preposition, are they considered as transitive verbs? So before going to discuss this in detail, let us see what are transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, I hope that you must have heard these words before, like transitive and intransitive verbs. And actually, transitive verbs are those words that are followed by a direct object that answers the question what or whom. It means that without mentioning the object after transitive verbs, they do not give complete sense. We have to mention the object after such transitive verbs. Similarly, if we talk about intransitive verbs, they are the words which do not have a direct object. They give complete sense when they are used in a sentence without an object. Now let's see in the upcoming slides that how we can convert intransitive verbs to passive voice, because usually we know that intransitive verbs cannot be converted to passive voice. However, we'll see that in certain conditions they can be converted into passive voice. Now let's see how. Okay, when intransitive verbs are used with preposition, are they considered as transitive verbs? So, to answer this question, we can say that when a verb, or you can say when an intransitive verb is, followed by a preposition in a sentence, then the transitive verb is the verb plus preposition combination, and it can be converted into passive like any transitive verb. Here are some examples in front of you. For example, they looked at, listened to, thought about, argued over, made much of it for decades. This is the active structure. So if you are going to convert it into passive, you can see that after each intransitive verb there are certain prepositions like at, to, about, and over, right? So if you are going to convert them passive, the structure is also given in the on the screen, like it was looked at, it was listened to, it was thought about, it was argued over. So this is how, if intransitive verb is followed by a preposition, then you can convert them into a passive voice on the similar grounds. Similarly, we do have what linguists call prepositional objects, right? Found after certain combination of intransitive verbs followed by prepositions. These objects act like direct objects and can be promoted to the subject position to create a passive construction. Here, right in front of you on the screen, are some examples of active voice sentences with intransitive verbs and prepositional objects along with their passive counterparts. You can also read out the examples. For example, we listen to the music. How you'll convert into passive, our prepositional object is the music. So again, according to the passive voice rule, it will appear in the beginning. The music was listened to. In this case, it is optional if you want to mention the subject or not. It will be fine. Similarly, Mary speaks to me. So in this sentence, the prepositional object is a pronoun me, right? So it will be converted into pronoun I when it will appear in the beginning, and it will be followed by the verb, helping verb am, I am spoken to. Similarly, again in this example also the subject is optional. The movie stars walked on the red carpet. Okay, so in this case, the object of the preposition is the red carpet, and it will appear in the beginning in a passive structure. The red carpet was walked on by the movie stars. So this is how you're going to convert intransitive verbs that are followed by certain prepositional objects. Dear students, as we have discussed in the previous slide that if transitive verbs, certain intransitive verbs are followed by prepositional object, they can be converted into passive voice. However, here are some examples where the object of the preposition following the intransitive verb is not a prepositional object. It does not act like a direct object. It cannot be promoted to the subject position, and its sentences cannot be made passive, right? So you can read the examples like we listen amidst the noise, Mary speaks in riddles, the movie stars walked in circles, they sleep during the lecture. So such sentences where the word after the intransitive verb does not act like a prepositional object or direct object, they cannot be converted to passive voice, right? Okay, so now comes the very important rule that how you're going to change imperatives to passive voice. If you look at the screens now, the basic structure, the formula of the passive voice is given when you are asked to convert an imperative to passive voice. For example, you are going to start the sentence with the word let, and then it will be followed by the object as per the rules of passive voice. Then it will be followed by the word be, and then past participle, that is the third form of the verb. You can also read examples. For example, carry it home. You let it be carried home. This is its passive voice. Carried is the past participle form, and home will appear in the end. Similarly, do it at once. This is another example. How will you convert it into? Just follow the formula, remember the formula, and it will be very easy for you to convert imperative sentences to passive voice. Similarly, in the previous slide, we discussed how the positive sentences and imperatives will be converted into a passive voice. So in this slide, we are going to discuss that how when the active voice is in the negative sentence, how you're going to change it. So again, and this the following formula will be followed, that is let, then object, not be, and past participle. If you look at the examples, do not beat the dog. So how will you convert it into passive? Let the dog not be beaten. So you will add the word not right after the object in a passive voice, right? Similarly, we can also begin the passive sentence with you if we want to put emphasis on the person addressed to. Here are some examples. Please help me. This is the active structure, so it can be converted into passive voice in two forms, like let me be helped or you are requested to help me. Similarly, learn the poem. Let the poem be learned or you are asked to learn the poem. So this is how you can convert, the imperatives in two forms or two ways. Similarly, if they are in negative, don't touch it, let it not be touched, or the other form of passive will be you are warned not to touch it. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, so how to change interrogative sentences to passive voice. So here are some formulas in front of you, and it will be really helpful for you. You can also note them down in your notebooks. As you can see that in indefinite form, helping verb will be there in the beginning. It will be followed by the object and then past participle form and then subject, right? So if you are going to convert the progressive sentence into passive voice, then there will be addition of a word being. And similarly, if you are converting a perfect tense into passive voice, then there will be addition of been word along with the helping verb of that particular tense. Okay, now we are going to discuss each tense turnwise, like how their interrogative form is converted into passive voice. For example, right in front of you is an active structure in the present indefinite form. Do you light the candle? So, if you will convert it into passive, as per rule, it will take the helping verb from its next tense, that is continuous, and do will be replaced by is, and then object the candle will appear in the beginning, then it will be followed by the verb past participle form, then by, and the second person that will appear in the end, and there will be a question mark as well. Okay, then right in front of you is a sentence act in present continuous tense, that is, am I driving a car? So this will be, converted into passive voice by adding the word being as well. Okay, so if a car is an object and it will appear in the beginning, so it will take the helping verb is with it, because we use is with singular subject in present continuous tense. So then it will be followed by, so is will be followed by the object, and then there will be addition of a new word, that is being, as we added in making passive voice of present continuous sentences. And then it will be followed by verb past participle form, then by, and then subject I will be converted to me. Similarly, you can convert the present perfect tense into passive voice like this, that has she stolen my book? So this is again interrogative form. So when you'll convert it into passive voice, it will take the helping verbs of present continuous perfect continuous tense, and it will be converted to present perfect continuous passive voice like this, that there will be helping verb has in the beginning, that it will be followed by the object, that is my book in this sentence, then been, and then past participle, then by, and then the subject she will be changed into her. Okay, so now there is a sentence given in simple past tense. Did she finish the work? So according to the rule, it will take the helping verb of past continuous tense, that is was and were. Since our object is singular, so it will take was with it. So was, then it will be followed by the object, then past participle, then by and her, and there will be a question mark in the end. Okay, now we learn how to convert interrogative sentences given in past continuous tense. So again, we'll write the helping verb were in the beginning, that it will be followed by the object his books, that in this case, and then there will be addition of a new word being, and then past participle, and then it will be followed by the subject, as in this case he is the subject, so it will be changed into him while converting it to passive voice. Okay, last but not the least example is that of past perfect tense. Had I completed the assignment? In this case, our object is the assignment. So since it's an interrogative sentence, so while converting into passive, helping verb had will appear in the beginning, then it will be followed by the object, the assignment, then been, as we add had been in our past perfect continuous tense. So, and then it will be followed by past participle, and then the subject me. The subject in this case is I, so it will be converted into objective case, that is me, and there will be a question mark. So this is how you can convert the rest of the interrogative sentences to passive voice. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture.